Hello friend, it's me, Pat Sloan, here for our daily video. And today's topic is to tidy up. And tidy up it is. You are almost at the end of sewing your Christmas projects for those of you who are doing that. And so today would be a good day to tidy up the things that you were using to sew Christmas projects, because you know how it gets. You've got a deadline, so things are going to get super messy. They're just going to get piled in the corner, stuffed over there, stacked on the ironing board. So today will be a good day to wind it down. Even if you still have some things to do, it'll feel good to move the finished supplies and whatnots out of the way so that it feels clean and fresh. For me, because I'm not making Christmas projects, I have things that have ended. So such as the Cozy Things. I have my whole bin of fabric from Cozy Things. Well, I'm going to get that bin emptied out. I have some other projects that like the Untitled Designer of the Month, that's almost done. So I want to, get that bin emptied out. So that is my tidy up part. And speaking of the Untitled Designer of the Month, that is what I put up on my wall, because this is a project I need to sew the top so I can show you the layout eventually. But I thought, well, okay, usually I don't show you my process to get to the layout. I've already designed the layout. I actually have the pattern written already, but it's really not much fun to just give you that pattern before showing you the top. And in the past, I would release all that sometime in January. Well, I am super lucky that we got Shannon and Jason's block. So it's over there from the one that's inspired by the marble in Carrara, Italy. So I have their block, so that's really great. But I thought, okay, this year I am going to show you my process to do the layout, and then when it's all done, we'll publish the layout. So for those of you who are watching my video, you will get an extra, I don't know what you call it, sneak peek. It isn't, you're just going to see the process. So one of the things that I'm doing for each of the blocks, and here you can see some of them. This is Bet's White's block. No. I'm sorry, not Bet's. This is Blair Stalker's block. I don't know where I got Bet's name. She was on a different sew along. This is Blair Stalker's block. And I am taking one of the colors, because each Untitled designer was assigned a color box, and they had some solid colors. Hers were these solid colors, and then everybody had this gray. They're all Kaufman fabrics. So I am going to rim each block in one of the colors that they had. So it'll put a little frame around it. So here's one of the other ones. And this is from Alicia of Penguin and Fish. So a lot of you follow Alicia on her YouTube. And so here is hers. And I think she had Tuscany. I am doing the darker orange, which is what she used for the house roof. So I have to do all around that. And that is what will be going up there. And there you get a little peek at something that is part of the setting. But my first part I'm going to be doing is outlining all these blocks so that I have that part done by color, and then I can put it up there and decide for final. This is pretty close. This is pretty close to the layout. There's going to be three vertical columns of 4 blocks each, not in the order that they sewed them, but in the order that looks good, that balances for intensity of color, balances for amount of white or very light part of the blocks, because a lot of these blocks don't have a lot of light in them. They're darker blocks or medium tone blocks. So I need to get the balance of color all the way around and see how it looks. Now here's another one, the Limoncello Block. So I'm picking the lightest yellow color to go for this one. So that is something you will get to watch on the video. I thought, well, then you'll get the layout at the end. So it's in progress. I like it. I think it's going to be fun. The setting doesn't take that long to, it's not like a complex setting where I have to make a lot of blocks. I have to do those spacer pieces, and then it's some strips. So that's not too bad. I've got it started. That's the important thing, is once I get it on the wall and start it. And the reason why I could get it on the wall is because, drum roll, I'm not good at that. I can't make drum roll noises. Whoops. I set my jelly roll quilt. I set all the rows. I don't have a border on it yet, but I set all the rows because I needed the design wall. And I thought it was just, it splinters your time. This is what I found. It splinters my time, your time, anybody's time. If you're like constantly taking things up and down and you're doing just a little bit of this one, then just a little bit of that one, then just a little bit of the third or the fourth one. Sometimes you have to work in a chunk in order to, you actually do more if you work on a chunk of it rather than taking it down, putting it up, taking it down, putting it up, and then having to sort of re-gear to where you are. And so that's what my problem was. I had the rows and I thought, okay, I could take all the rows down and then later on I could sew the rows, or I could just do it now. And that's what I did. I decided to just do it now. And I have, oops, I have my cord stuck on the chair. Okay, so here is the jelly roll block with my jelly roll quilt with my Morrison Park in Ripple. So I've got all of the rows done, and I'm looking to do the stripe as a border, but I'll have to audition it up there. But that'll wait for a little bit. Maybe I'll just, it may even wait till Monday when it's jelly roll day again. And Monday is also our elephant day. We'll start the elephant blocks. Yes, so excited for them. So excited, they're so darn cute. So he's like up here with the mascot. I've got all these little mascot blocks up there. All right, so I'm very happy to have this, have the ripples at this point, because now I can I'm hoping I can just sort of zoom along on the Aurifil and get those. Now I have my own version of the blocks as well, and those may go into those may push on to a 2021 project, because more than likely I am not going to stop now and set those. And I may not want to use this setting because they're a difference with a different fabric in them. I think they might look better just with a sort of a plain setting, not something a little bit fancier. But who knows, I might do it anyway. Because this one, when it's done, will be quilted and then go to Aurifil, to their headquarters in Milan. Or they might keep it in Chicago. They might keep it in Chicago for a while or go to Milan, and then eventually when we start doing shows again, they will take it to the trade shows that they go to, and they will take it to the retail shows that they do information booths at. And across Europe and the United States, and they sometimes go up into Canada. I know they've at least once done a show in Canada. Elena, the president of the company, she went up. So you never know where you'll see them, and you might end up seeing this quilt someday in person. The other thing I got done, yes, is the label here. Okay, so I stuck a label on it. There we go. Got it on, and I didn't put it right at the edge this time because I wanted the edges to be a little bit cuddly, you know, like if it got up by your face. I didn't want the label being right in the corner, so I put the label on. Now this one is available and ready for me to use because it's staying with me. I still can't believe how cuddly that is. You can watch yesterday's video when I talk about it if you missed that. So I want to answer one or two questions. And first is, Linda asked, when hand sewing binding, is the thread the same color as the binding or the color of the backing? So this has binding on it. So when I'm sewing this stripe, I would use probably an off-white or a light pink to match the binding. I would not use yellow thread that would match the front, or I would not use gray thread if it were to go in the back. I want to match the binding. The same with applique. When you're appliquing, your thread color matches the applique shape. So if I'm appliquing an apple to a background, my thread color will be the color of the apple because it needs to blend into the edge of the apple shape and not the background. So that's the rule of thumb. It's the shape or the binding, that's your thread color matches that. Okay, so Alaska Melody had a question about borders, which I think is really interesting. let me see if I can say this. It's kind of a long question. Basically, I think what she's asking, hi, because I think you watch the videos too, is, some patterns, when they tell you to put borders on, they tell you to put the sides on and then to put the tops, right? Put your side borders on, then put your top borders on. And then you'll read another pattern and it'll say, put your top borders and bottom border on and then put your sides on. Okay, is there a rhyme or reason to how this is written? Sometimes. Sometimes there is. If one of your sides, generally the length, if you have a quilt that's longer than it is wide, the strips on the borders on the outside are longer, right? So if this is 50 and this is 70, you need strips that are 70 inches long. Those, if you do not want to piece them, you have to cut length of fabric, and then you don't have to piece them. Sometimes though, when you're doing a piece, let's say if it's kind of squarish or maybe even small, you might have a place like width of fabric is 40 inches. So if you're not piecing a border, that means anything over 40 inches, you have to do length, like the yardage, right? You're getting 2 yards so that you can do a lengthwise border, because 40 is all you can get from cutting salvage to salvage. So sometimes when you're close to that 40, if you put, if you're doing the math, one set of borders, doing it one way versus the other way will get it so neither have to be pieced. And that is a designer's job to figure that out. That is part of what they do when they write their pattern. And sometimes they forget, or it's not in their thought process, so you might be piecing the borders when maybe you didn't have to. But anything over 40 inches, you're going to have to piece unless you do it the length, because it's math. The fabric doesn't come any wider than that. But does it matter if you put sides or top and bottom? No. It really only matters for the cutting, which, do you have to piece things or not, and only for smaller quilts. So I hope that's what you were asking, and hope that answer is close. If it's not, ask me again. Okay, reminder, get your little ginger snap kids made. They're so cute, they're so fun. Wouldn't it be cute to put in a, like a little gift you're sending off to a friend? Like maybe you didn't do it for Christmas, you do it for New Year's. Wouldn't it be a cute little New Year's gift you can send off to a buddy? Yeah. I just like having them dance. Here they are without moving. Somebody once said to me, don't move so much. It's like, if you were talking to me in person, like sitting across from me, I would be wiggling and moving and using my hands just like I do now. I'm not a, stoic person. I don't just sit. All right, my friend, there you go. Tidy up today and tell me what you did. I want to hear what you tidy up. Links to things I talked about are below. And let me know if you like the idea of seeing the Aurifil as I'm making them in these videos. I'll just keep it up on the board and you'll see how long it takes with me doing other things. So I love you. Mwah. See you online.